Mike Johnson with TW Insider.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm good. My condolences to the company and to the family on the passing of Pat. I know you talked about him a little bit. I did want to ask you, I know he had been, as you mentioned, the takeovers that I know at tapings that I had been to, he had been there as well. I was curious what sort of lessons you learned from him when it came to grooming other talents and helping them evolve, given that that was kind of his role for the main roster for so many years. And, what lessons you learned from him that you brought over to the NXT brand as you evolved it?
All of them. It's funny. We were talking about it yesterday. When I came to WWE and Pat was here, it's so much of what I learned every day. Vince was different, and sitting under the learning tree with Vince is different. It's production and larger overall stuff and vision and different things. Pat was that in-ring, the day-to-day, the finishes and things like that. That's where he's unbelievable. Thinking outside the box too, but there's so many things that I either learn directly from Pat himself, or I'd be in a car with Shawn and Razor and Kev the Kid or whatever, but Shawn and Razor especially, they were there before, and they'd be talking about stuff and telling you something and go, I learned that from Pat. I remember I was doing this with this guy and we were in this location and Pat came to us and he said, guys, please do this. Just trust me on this. And, the things that he could teach you, and he spoke that same kind of wrestler shorthand language that we all spoke with each other. So, when you were in there with him and talking things over, it was just remarkable. But, to say what exact lessons, it's hard because it was a day-to-day thing. It was every single day that you were around him, you were learning things, whether it was just a story or something. But it was constant. His teaching was constant. But how he taught it to you, how he handled you as a performer, the way he saw you, he also had experienced it firsthand, right? So for him as a performer coming into a new territory or whatever, how he dealt with that, how the fears that he had, the thoughts that he had of being a performer and how that resonated with him. So he could speak to you directly that way. I never wanted to lose that and to have that, sort of hands-on with talent in that manner. I've been very lucky in my career to be able to be around some of the greatest minds ever in this business and be able to sit with them and learn from them at all times. And I think that still continues to this day. But, the Pat, chief among them, Pat, Vince, Dusty, but Pat, chief among them, I don't know if there's anybody I learned more from than him.